This is Anthony. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing part 4 of the types of students going back to school. So this series is gonna have a lot of parts to this. So yeah, or could just be because I don't have any ideas for videos because uh because YouTube keeps disabling my comments, even though I clearly, like, even though I clearly say I want comments on, they keep disabling them. But let's just get this. Let's just. I've already wasted a minute. Let's just get this started. So, first up we have the creepy kids. So basically, you know when you're like sitting in class minding your own business, and then suddenly you look up from your work, and then you see this one kid just staring in your soul, like they don't talk, they don't blink, they don't move, they just stare. Or you end up finding them in the weirdest places, and they and then they look at you like like just just don't stare at me. Like, stare at someone else. Next up, we have the weird kid. Basically, like, they just do things that normal people probably don't do. I, I, like, just, it's okay to be yourself, but you don't have to be, like, so weird. Like, just don't be too normal, but don't be too weird. Next up, we have the artist. So, um, this is basically like the overachiever. Basically, like, they make sure their art project is like perfect. Like, they make sure they do they make sure they draw exactly what the example drew, or they just or they just search up something on Google Images and then they trace over it. That's basically cheating, but whatever. Next up, we have the late kid. So basically, you know that one kid who's always late to every class, and then they make up random excuses on why they're late. Like, oh, I was going to be on time, but then these kids walking in front of me kept slowing me down when there was clearly no one in front of them. Or, you know, they would say, I got up late, so I missed the bus, so my mom had to take me to school. And then there was traffic, I, and then if you ride that kid's bus, then you could call that kid out. Like, I clearly saw you get on the bus. You just walked slow. It's like they're trying to be late on purpose. Like, try to be on time. Just like, and even if you are late, just like, say the real reason why you're late. You don't have to make up all these excuses because sometimes the teacher's not going to believe you. Next up, we have the forgetful kid. So, you know when there's a homework assignment and then the teacher at the end of the day is like, so for homework, I need you to do this. The next day, the teacher says, all right, class, I'm coming around to collect your homework. And then they ask the kid next to them, we had homework? Or they just don't pay attention. Or my last year my teachers would do this thing where whenever there was a homework, not homework, whenever there was a test, whenever we had a test coming up, the teacher would write it on the board and then they remind the class every day, like remember we have a test on this day. And then they keep doing that every day until it eventually gets to, all right, class, we did remember you have a test tomorrow. And then on the day of the test, they're like, or actually, they're like, you better study for the test tomorrow. The day of the test. All right, class, I'm coming around to pass out the tests. And then they ask the kid next to them, we have a test today? And if I was the kid next to them, I would say, it's been on the board all week. What have you been doing? Not listening is what they've been doing. Most of the time, it's because these kids don't listen. Next up, we have the talkative kid. Basically, you know when the teacher's like teaching a lesson and then this one kid raises their hand and then they start telling the class about a story that has nothing to do with the lesson. Like, if you're going to talk about something, ask about the lesson or try to keep it on topic. You can go a little bit off topic, but make sure the main topic is about what the lesson is about. Next up, we have the snacker. And I experienced this a lot in my school. So basically, you know how after lunch you have leftover food and you don't want to throw it away. So then in the middle of the class, you hear this kid eating. And then the teacher has to say, how many times do we have to go over this? No eating in class. And then they're like, I was hungry and I didn't finish lunch and I didn't want to throw it away. Honestly, for me, I know about the no eating rule. So if I have leftover food, no one else is gonna eat it. So like, I might as well just throw it away. I don't care if I waste it. Like, just finish your food at lunch, or at least try to. Next up, don't know. Next up, we have the rude kid. Basically, like, whenever a kid asks to, like, borrow a pencil or, like, some notebook paper or whatever, they just act, like, all rude about it. They're like, ew, no, I don't want you touching my stuff. Especially if they got new pencils. They're like, all my pencils are new. Like, I don't want you touching that. Like, you can say no, but you don't have to be, like, so rude about it. But anyway, that's basically all for today's video. So, subscribe and have a good day.